Hello and welcome to About Last Night. My name's EJ Moreno and this is the review show where I talk about the movie I saw last night. Starting this week's episode off by saying thank you so much for tuning in. It really means the world to me. I can now proudly announce I have been monetized on YouTube, so sorry for some of the advertisements. You can skip them if you want, but I am so happy that your views got me to this point. Also, your comments and your likes mean the world to me. Thank you so much. So I really wanted to share that with you before I kick off this week's movie. And what is this week all about? You saw the title. It's about the frosty new thriller, The Snowman. So, The Snowman. I don't know, honestly, I feel like people are judging this movie so harshly that I saw a completely different movie than everybody. Is it perfect? No, The Snowman is not a perfect movie. It's not even really a great movie, but it's fine. It is a well-crafted piece. It's a little... we'll get into a little bit. I think the worst part for me is the editing, but other than that, the cinematography is strong, the acting is pretty great. Look, Michael Fassbender, Charlotte Gainsbourg, J.K. Simmons, Val Kilmer was there. But yeah, it has a great cast, so really happy with that. Like I said, the directing's fine, cinematography's fine, the script's okay. That kind of falls into, it's trying to adapt a novel, and it's trying to adapt a lot from the novel that I'm like, just leave that out. That worked in a written sense. It does not work in a movie. Take that out. Oh, you left it in? So there's a lot of that stuff in it, but other than that, I really think this is a pretty decent movie. I said decent, but is it the worst movie of the year? Is this the worst serial killer movie ever? I'm sorry, but The Hitman's Bodyguard, The Bye Bye Man, The Emoji Movie, Pirates of the Caribbean, Transformers, no, The Snowman is not worse than all of those movies. Sorry about it. And the worst serial killer movie? I don't know. I know we live in this like 24-hour news cycle, so we really remember movies that came out like this week, or last week, or a couple months ago. But like, you have movies like I Know You Killed Me, or even some of the other sequels to Silence of the Lambs. They're not that good. And if we want to talk about mediocre, and we want to compare this movie to Seven, what about Zodiac? Zodiac is a mediocre movie. It is fine. It's okay. It wants to be Seven a lot, and it's even by Fincher, so you can feel that on there. Hell, you even have Gone Girl. Look, I feel like this movie, The Snowman, is getting some odd critiques from people that I know we need clicks and we need headlines. Trust me, I tried to do an interesting headline with this, but really, is this movie worth trying to deem something so bad because we really need attention and we're bored talking about Harvey Weinstein? Come on, guys. Look, this movie is seriously not that bad. It just kind of blows my mind. I briefly mentioned it, but let's talk about critics and fans comparing this movie to Seven. Is it as good as the classic David Fincher film? No, it's not. But I didn't need it to be. I didn't expect it to be. That's like saying every movie after The Dark Knight have to be the best superhero movie of all time, or they shouldn't even be made. That's what it feels like when people are like, well, this movie's not Seven, it's not The Bone Collector. It's like, okay, I didn't expect it to be. Like, it's not even in the same theme or tone of those movies, so you want it to be just like it? Like I said, this isn't even the worst serial killer movie I've ever seen. This isn't the worst Michael Fassbender movie I've seen. Hello? Assassin's Creed? Come on, he even did that movie with Henry Cavill, directed by Joel Schumacher? What? Well, it's puzzling to me. Not that I really want to defend this movie passionately, even though I am getting a little riled up about it. I'm just more confused and I'm more like befuddled that I'm like, why are we hating this? What is it about this movie that people just cannot stand? So enough of everyone else's opinions about this, let me talk about it myself. The Snowman is a new Michael Fassbender movie where he plays a very drunk detective named Harry, he's a little bit of a hot mess. Is he problematic? Just a little bit. Yeah, he kind of falls asleep in public places, but I don't think he's a horrible human being. I guess he's problematic enough for a serial killer to target him and make him the pawn in this weird game he's playing, but it seems like he kind of just fell onto Michael Fassbender, and Michael Fassbender's kind of having to be like, why me? What's going on here? And by the time you figure out what's happening, it is a really, really interesting, like, twisted story. I think it works really well. I have no problems with the story of this. I have no problem with the actors or the direction of this. I will say there are some subplots that's not going, that just they don't go anywhere, they don't need to be there. I describe the movie like this. They gave me a puzzle. I put all the puzzle pieces together, but at the end I had a couple pieces hanging out that I'm like, my puzzle's done, but that has nothing to do with anything over there. That's from a different puzzle. That's from like a puzzle that didn't need to be made. That's how I feel about some of the parts of this movie. Do I need to know about J.K. Simmons' character in this? Or hell, even Rebecca Ferguson's kind of useless in this? Did I need to know that Oslo, Norway is getting the Winter Games in this film universe? No. But those are all odd subplots that they dive into. That's the worst part of this, is the subplots, is the divergent from the main story, which I find to be really interesting. I really like Fassbender's character. I really like Fassbender's wife in this movie, or lover, or ex, or whatever she is, played by Charlotte Gainsbourg. I love Charlotte Gainsbourg. She's usually in Lars von Trier movies like Nymphomaniac, Antichrist, Melancholia. I adore her as an actress. Honestly, she's one of my favorite modern actresses. So when people complain, it's not about Charlotte Gainsbourg because she's iconic. It's not about Michael Fassbender because he's really good in this movie. It's okay, maybe about Val Kilmer, because what happened to Val Kilmer? Did Oprah curse him and turn him into a pumpkin or something? I felt bad for him. I was just like, go Kilmer, go stay in the 90s. What makes talking about this movie so interesting for me is I don't even really love it. I found it to be fine, like I said. It is an okay movie, but having to like defend it in a weird sense of being like, guys, it's just not that bad. It's like, we had a couple weeks off from doing a lot of things, like working in the critic world. We're getting into a lot of the Oscar time movies, or a lot of some of those like holiday movies. So a lot of people were in that kind of mood. So to take this kind of frosty, weird, like chill, cold movie, well, that was a lot of snow puns, but to go into this kind of cold, frigid movie, I can understand where people would be disconnected from it, and it's not the most inviting, like, fun time at the movies. You're not like, ooh boy, I left it with a smile, like you're leaving like a Thor movie or anything like that. But no, it has a really fun vibe to it of trying to figure out the mystery. But once you figure it out, you're kind of like, oh, okay, cool. But that's what I'm saying. Like the whole mystery is like fine, whatever. It's that third act. Once the mystery is kind of done and we get there, I'm like, okay, thank you last 20 minutes of this movie. This is where I'm like pumped. I'm having a good time now. This is fun. Seeing Michael Fassbender kind of be kick-ass, seeing the villain be the villain, and I love those little snowmen that we get to see around the movie. Those are crazy, but I wanted to see him do a little bit more. Even if we could have shown him before the big reveal and be like, okay, yeah, it's this character, and you're like, yeah, that was the first guess. Maybe I dipped off and thought another person for a while, but that was my first guess, and my first guess was right. But to see him kind of be a creepy killer, that would have been fine. I would have enjoyed that, because then by the third act I would have been like, I've got to build up why this guy's a creeper. Yes, we see this character throughout the movie, but I wanted to see him be creepy throughout the movie, not just kind of like playing the game on both sides. It felt a little odd in that sense. This movie's so odd, like I said, I keep kind of going back and forth on points because the movie's not perfect. So I do have some negatives about it, but I have positives, and I keep trying to say that this is a fine, well-made film. I love the locations. Filming in Norway, I really do believe they filmed this on location, and you could tell they used the best of their snowy locations. It just looked so, it looks cold, and like I said, I can see why people are disconnected because the movie's just cold. They have kind of cold actors with Fassbender, Charlotte Gainsbourg, Chloe Sevigny has a cameo. So they have cold actors, but then they're like, well, here's a cold location. Well, here's a lot of wide shots, so you can't really like relate and get close and intimate with these characters. So that's where I can definitely see where audiences aren't like, yay! But that's why I don't think it's a bad movie. It's something I kind of talked about last year a lot with Batman v Superman. I love that movie, so to take personal opinions aside, I felt like, because people weren't like, oh my god, this was great, I smiled the whole time. It was a little dark. It made you kind of think there was terrorist attacks. Same thing with like the Snowman. It's dark. There's not really great comfortable things. There's some the intro starts off with this man slapping this woman because she wasn't educating her child properly. So it's not a very welcoming, warm movie, but I like that. I feel like movies should be like this a little bit more often.
You could save them, you know. Gave you all the clues and everything.
And I know I'm cynical, I like the dark grim, but that's me as a viewer. I love films by Lars von Trier. I mentioned him earlier. He did movies with Charlotte Gainsbourg, who starred in this movie. He does movies like Antichrist, Dancer in the Dark, Melancholia, Nymphomaniac Volume 1 and 2. He has a serial killer movie coming out, I think next year, with Christian Slater maybe? I think that's going to be great. That's going to be the version of the Snowman that I'm excited for. But I kind of relate to these like Euro trash kind of movies where I'm like, ooh, I like what you're doing, this is fine, this is kind of my thing. So I relate to this movie, and that's going to be kind of my defense of the Snowman. So thank you so much for tuning into this week's episode of About Last Night. This was kind of my rant, rambling, mess of a review, but that's kind of how the Snowman left me. I was a little messy after, because it's like, I had a decent time. Oh, everyone hates it. Oh, should I hate it? What's wrong with me? So thank you again for tuning in, kind of me having to deal with how I feel about the Snowman. How do you feel about the Snowman? Let me know down in the comments below if you have seen this movie, what you think of the comparisons that this is getting to other movies, and how bad this movie is. What do you think? So let me know in the comments down below. If you did enjoy this rant, rambling craziness of a review, give me a thumbs up. Also, don't forget to subscribe. I do crazy amount of pop culture videos on here. I do everything from RuPaul's Drag Race to Justice League to movie reviews just like this. So thank you so much for tuning in, and leave me a comment. I can't wait to talk again with you.